Your immune system is not gentle. It was never meant to be. It is not calm, not reflective, not forgiving. It is one of the most destructive forces biology has ever assembled, a living arsenal built for survival at any cost. Every second of your life, billions of immune cells patrol your blood, your organs, your skin, and even your brain. They carry molecular weapons designed to puncture membranes, dissolve proteins, and trigger cellular suicide without hesitation. They touch, scan, verify, and judge everything they encounter. And almost always, they are right. But sometimes, in rare and catastrophic moments, they are not. Sometimes the system built to protect you reaches a different conclusion, that you are the threat, that parts of your own body no longer belong. Autoimmune disease is not weakness. It is not fragility. It is power turned inward, and once it begins, it rarely knows how to stop. Autoimmune diseases are not rare edge cases hiding at the margins of medicine. They affect tens of millions of Americans, quietly shaping daily life in ways that statistics rarely capture. More than 100 distinct conditions exist, and nearly every tissue in the human body can become a target. The nerves that carry sensation and thought, the joints that allow movement, the pancreas that regulates blood sugar, the thyroid that sets metabolic pace, the intestines that absorb nutrients, the skin that forms our first barrier to the world, even the blood vessels that sustain every organ. What unites these diseases is not how they look, but how they begin. The mistake. Your immune system identifies a normal, healthy part of your body as foreign, and then responds exactly as it was designed to respond. With force, with escalation, with memory. This is why autoimmune disease feels relentless, why fatigue is crushing, why flares return stronger, and why remission is fragile and uncertain. The immune system does not negotiate, it enforces. To understand how autoimmunity begins, you first have to understand shape. Life does not run on ideas or intentions. It runs on structure, on proteins. Your body builds roughly 100,000 distinct proteins, each folded into a precise three-dimensional form. That form determines everything a protein can do, how it binds, how it moves, how it catalyzes reactions, and how it is recognized. Your immune system does not read DNA. It does not understand purpose or meaning. It recognizes shape. Every cell in your body displays fragments of its internal proteins on its surface, like molecular identification badges. Immune cells constantly inspect these fragments, sampling them one by one as they patrol your tissues. If the shape matches what the immune system has learned as self, the cell is ignored and spared. If it does not, the response is immediate and absolute. Autoimmunity begins when this recognition system fails, not emotionally, mechanically. This failure should never happen, and biology knows it. Because the cost of getting this wrong is catastrophic, the immune system built an unforgiving safeguard deep inside the body. Within the thymus and the bone marrow, immature immune cells undergo a ruthless education. They are exposed to thousands of your own protein shapes, again and again, under conditions designed to reveal even the slightest error in recognition. If a developing T cell binds too strongly to any of these shapes, it is eliminated immediately. There are no appeals, no second chances, no mercy. This process destroys the vast majority of dangerous cells before they ever reach the bloodstream. But evolution does not engineer perfection. It engineers probability. And occasionally, through nothing more than statistical noise, a self-reactive cell survives the screening. Right now, in your body, there are likely millions of immune cells capable of recognizing your own tissues. Most of the time, they remain silent and harmless, until something wakes them up. Genetic escape is not the only pathway into autoimmunity. Some bacteria and viruses survive by imitation, not by force. To enter and manipulate your cells, they evolve surface proteins that closely resemble your own. Not perfectly, because perfection is unnecessary, just close enough to pass initial inspection. This strategy is known as molecular mimicry, and it is one of the most dangerous tricks in biology. When your immune system learns to recognize and attack the pathogen, it may also learn to recognize a similar shape that exists within your own tissues. Most of the time, regulatory systems intervene and shut the response down before damage spreads. But if a self-reactive T cell already exists, if inflammation is high and immune signals are amplified, if the timing is wrong, recognition turns into confusion, confusion turns into attack. And once the immune system makes that association, it can be very difficult to erase. Autoimmune disease almost never begins quietly. It begins during activation, when the immune system shifts from surveillance to full mobilization. An infection, a severe illness, a physical injury, sometimes even sustained psychological stress. In response, the body releases cytokines, chemical signals that declare this threat real, escalate the response, and commit resources without hesitation. Immune cells flood into lymph nodes carrying protein fragments from the battlefield, physical records of what has been damaged and destroyed. T cells circulate through these nodes, sampling the fragments, comparing shapes, making rapid decisions. And sometimes, in a moment that feels impossibly precise, the wrong cell arrives at the wrong place at the wrong time. A self-reactive T cell encounters a familiar shape and interprets it as invasion. That single recognition event is enough. From that point forward, the immune system no longer asks whether it should act. It already has its answer. Once activated, immune cells do not act in isolation, they multiply. A single activated cell becomes thousands, then millions, each carrying the same mistaken instruction. They recruit additional forces, B cells that produce antibodies, macrophages that engulf and digest, cytotoxic effectors that destroy on contact. What began as a local signal quickly becomes a system-wide response. As these cells attack, they damage tissue and release inflammatory signals that tear cells apart, spilling even more protein fragments into the environment. Those fragments are collected, presented, and interpreted as further evidence of invasion. The original error is reinforced at every step. This is a self-amplifying loop built into the architecture of immune defense. The immune system is designed to prevent ceasefire until the threat is eliminated. But in autoimmunity, the threat never disappears, because the threat is you. In multiple sclerosis, immune cells target myelin, the insulating layer around nerve fibers, slowing electrical signals and disrupting movement, sensation, vision, and focus. In type 1 diabetes, insulin-producing beta cells in the pancreas are destroyed, collapsing glucose regulation and pushing the blood toward dangerous chemical imbalance. In rheumatoid arthritis, immune cells invade the joints and release enzymes that dissolve cartilage and bone, turning motion itself into a source of damage. In lupus, antibodies attack components of the cell nucleus, spreading injury across organs and systems with no clear boundary. These diseases look different in the clinic and feel different in the body. But beneath the surface, they follow the same logic. The target changes, the tissue changes, the outcome changes. The mechanism does not. Mistaken identity is enforced without restraint. This raises a disturbing question. If autoimmune genes are so dangerous, why were they never removed by evolution? The answer is that they were not always dangerous. For most of human history, infection was the dominant cause of death, and survival favored immune systems that responded fast and aggressively. In a world shaped by parasites, bacteria, and pandemics, hesitation was lethal. Genetic studies of Black Death burial sites reveal that individuals carrying variants now linked to Crohn's disease were more likely to survive the plague. What we recognize today as risk once functioned as protection. What shields you in one environment can destroy you in another. Evolution does not optimize comfort, longevity, or peace. It optimizes survival under immediate threat. And then, abruptly, we change the rules. Hygiene, antibiotics, vaccines, and sanitation transformed mortality in less than 2 centuries. Our immune systems did not have time to adapt. We now live with defenses built for a world that no longer exists. Autoimmune disease is not your body failing. It is your body doing exactly what it evolved to do, just in the wrong context. Understanding this does not cure it, but it reframes it. If you or someone in your family lives with autoimmunity, you are not broken. You are carrying an ancient survival strategy into a modern world. If this kind of science-centered perspective helps you make sense of the body, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing your experience in the comments. Many people discover they are not alone only after they speak, and sometimes, understanding is the first step toward peace.